Hi and welcome! So today I'm gonna do a little review because I can't stop thinking about this book and it's like one of the cutest things I've ever read. So I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this correctly, but it's The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hung. I am so sorry. I can't pronounce anything for and if you've been here for a little while, you know that's kind of my thing. So yes, this cute book, seriously can't stop thinking about it. I've actually, like, the couple days after finished reading it, I actually have gone back to reread some of the parts. Now, got to apologize for my fringe and my hair. My fringe won't sit and my hair is fluffy because I went into the rain yesterday. So, dealing with that. Anyway, onto the synopsis. So, here we go. Stella Lane thinks math is the only thing that unites the universe. She comes up with algorithms to predict customer purchases, a job that has given her more money than she knows what to do with, and way less experience in the dating department than average 30-year-olds. It doesn't help that Stella has Asperger's, and French kissing reminds her of a shark getting its teeth cleaned by pilotfish. Her conclusion, she needs a lot of practice with a professional, which is why she hires escort Michael Fan. A Vietnamese and Swedish stunner can't afford to turn down Stella's offer and agrees to help her check off all the boxes of her lesson plan, from foreplay to more than missionary position. Before long, Stella not only learns to appreciate his kisses, but to crave all the other things he's making her feel. Soon their no-nonsense partnership starts making a strange kind of sense, and the pattern that emerges will convince Stella that love is the best kind of logic. It's just so cute. I'm gonna start off by saying I give this a 5-star read, and it's my first 5-star read of the year, even though I've only read 2 books so far. So just getting my notes up. So I'm pretty sure the genre is new adult, and it was my second dive into the genre, I believe. Yeah, so I started reading new adult this year, and I don't know why I haven't done it sooner, but it's great. Enjoying it so far. And so I feel like with the new adult genre and romance genre as well, it has conventions that it follows, and I feel like with stuff like that, it often follows a formula. These sort of books don't really like exist to teach a lesson or make you think. It's there for enjoyment and to go along for the ride and just absorb the story. And the Kiss Quotient is no different. It's literally just it exists to be enjoyed, and I find it highly enjoyable. The storyline moves fairly quickly. The romance progression moves fairly quickly, so you're not like, it has the perfect amount of build up for me. I feel like I'm there for like the tension build up. I honestly am sort of a slut for the slow burn. I hate it when people end up together like straight away. I hate when characters like straight away are like, we love each other. I also really hate right person, wrong time. It's so tragic. It breaks my heart. I can't do it. But the Kiss Quotient was a slow burn, but it was also great at the same time, because while it was slow burning, there was also steamy scenes in the meantime. So it takes a while for the characters to admit their feelings, but it's like the perfect combination of give and take. Like it gives you steamy, wonderfully written scenes, but also makes you wait. It honestly, yes, I've read a couple of books where it's taken like 70% to get to the meat of the story. Like, not, yeah, take that meaning in a different, yeah, don't, I can't even be articulate about that without being like, without being like, here it is, this is, I'm trying to be coy, but I can't do it. I'm laughing like a school kid, but you know, I take this very seriously. These scenes were great. But because it is romance and new adult, and it often follows a formula, the story is a little bit predictable. Like, in most romance stories, you go in with the expectation that the two main characters end up together, and that's what you want. So you go in, you want that, you get it. And that's no big deal. Like, that's what you want from a romance story. A good romance story should be like that. Then if it doesn't end with them together, what was the point in reading it? Because that's not romance to me. So yes, it is slightly predictable in that sense, but I think that's a given. But I think it was just such a fun read that the predictability of it isn't an issue. I don't know. I read it so quickly. I literally read it in like one night. I stayed up to read it. And then went to sleep for a couple of hours, woke up, and then continued to read it. So I read it fairly quickly by my standards. But yeah, so because of that, some of the reviews have been surrounding how predictable, not all of them, some of them talks about the predictability, but it's the formula of romance, so I don't see an issue with that so much. And it is a character-driven story, so I think the background is all just noise, and it's there to help the characters move along in the story. But yeah, again, not so articulate. I'm really bad at this because I always have half-formed thoughts and I've got all the excitement behind it. But when it comes down to actually try and articulate anything, it doesn't work. Can never tie it up, can never bring it back full circle. I'll mention something, but it'll just be hanging out in the open with no link back. So I don't know. This is what's to be expected. But besides the plot, besides what happens, besides the steamy scenes, what really made it for me was the characters. The characters to me were wonderful. They were written so well to me. Like, I feel like they were well-rounded. Everything that made these characters up made sense. It's not like they randomly liked horseback riding but had no relevance to the storyline. Everything I felt had its place, had its link, made sense, made the story more than just a romance story where sometimes their only purpose is for those sex scenes to occur. This was more than just about the sex in the book, and it was so wonderful to read. So as mentioned in the synopsis, the main character is on the autistic spectrum, and I just think it's wonderful. I think it's the first time I've read neurodiversity. I think that's the term. I think it's the first time that I've read a character with that sort of trait. And if I have, it certainly hasn't been a romance book or any other book I tend to read. I feel like you find more of those characters in like serious literary novels, and I think it's great to see these sort of characters being introduced to other sorts of fiction that people do enjoy as well. People don't just read literary fiction. People read fantasy, people read romance, people read historical fiction. I don't know, I'm just trying to list a range of genres, but these people do exist. Obviously, they have their place in society. They should also have their place in fiction, and it was so great to see this character as it's different from what I've seen before, but very valid. It's extremely, extremely valid and has its place, and I want to see more of these diverse characters. And it's loved reading Stella. She was great. And then on top of that as well, it wasn't just the main character's neurodiversity that makes it a diverse book. You've also got different cultures introduced to it. As mentioned, Michael is Vietnamese and Swedish, and you get to see that culture take place within the story, and how it has formed the person that he is. So you get to see his family, and you get to see family traditions, and am I a fool for family traditions or just cultural celebration? I love it, and I think that's part of well, I don't know, it's not like hard and fast the only thing, but coming from Melbourne, which is a pretty multicultural city, I'm around it constantly, but it's also really great to see fiction reflects the world around me, because that's what we want. We want fiction that reflects the world around us, and I just think this book does that. I think it does that. It may be a very strange circumstance that may not happen in real life, like a rich woman hires an escort because she has very limited experience in the sexual realm and she wants to get better. Like, that shit doesn't happen every day, and that's great, that's fine. To have a book about that makes for a very interesting read, and it is a very interesting read. But to also have characters that make up this situation to reflect the world that we live in, to reflect situations and circumstances and people and differences and cultures that happen in our lives every single day. Just, it was very refreshing, and I very much enjoyed it. To be honest, I can't think of other books that does this in a contemporary setting. Well, you've got Red, White and Royal Blue, where you do see some, I wouldn't call it strict neurodiversity, but it slightly comes to play, and then cultural differences are in that as well. But to me, this story surpasses Red, White and Royal Blue. This book, I would say, is better. Yeah. So, I mean, it has its parallels, but it's also, they run adjacent to each other, and I'm gonna do a recommendation if you like Red, White and Royal Blue. read out check out the read quotient. Jesus, I am clearly tired and just should crawl back into bed. It's been semi-miserable anyway, so bed is probably the best place to be right now. Yeah, with that being said, I think that's all I'm going to say. Like, I think I've covered all my bases. I got your genre out there and what genre means to this book. You got characters in there. I've talked about the plot, I haven't talked about conventions, but I mean, I'm not going to. It's too late to talk about conventions. So I mean, it was a quick, great, lovely read. Has diversity, has a cute romance, has steamy scenes. I mean, it's everything that you want. If that's what you want, go for it. Even if that's not what you want, branch out, read something new, pick it up. It's a great read. And because I read it on my Kindle, it was a cheaper price. So if you have an e-reader, I'm fairly sure Amazon offers a cheaper price on it to, say, a print of it. So, you know, if you're on a budget too, it can be done. Make it happen. Make dreams come true and read something different, or read something that you're used to but haven't read this particular book, so do it. Please read this book. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day. See ya.